Hello guys, it's Revolution. In this video we are going to discuss whether or not Super Saiyajin Blue is a 50 times multiplier of Super Saiyajin God. Of course, the original golden haired Super Saiyan is 50 times that of base. We know this not just from Toriyama interviews, but it was confirmed in the Super Exciting Guides as well. Of course, we have a wide plethora of interviews and guidebook statements concerning Dragon Ball Z, but Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, the powerful transformations of Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, debuted in the renaissance of Dragon Ball with Dragon Ball Super. Super Saiyan God debuted in the Battle of Gods arc, and subsequently Super Saiyan Blue debuted in the Resurrection of F arc. Of course, they were both retellings of the Dragon Ball Z movies, but in terms of their power and multipliers, there's been very little information. And of course, Dragon Ball Super, at least the initial run, has no guidebooks to speak of. So we'll delve into the anime itself to see if there's any indications on how powerful this transformation is. Anyway guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're new to this channel, if you love talking about Dragon Ball and you're excited for the prospect of Dragon Ball Super, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I can assure you, you'll get some of the most in-depth chat on Dragon Ball on Revolution. Keep lending the Daishenken your energy, keep smashing that like button, all your support is truly appreciated. So we know that the original golden haired Super Saiyan is a 50 times multiplier, and whilst there are theories on how the powered up variants of Super Saiyan, i.e. grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4, otherwise known as fully powered Super Saiyan, are higher than 50 times, the widely accepted number for the Super Saiyan multiplier is 50 times that of base. But of course, Super Saiyan has pretty much become irrelevant in terms of being a viable power to take on new powerful foes since the introduction of Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, the God Ki transformations. Super Saiyan God has been described as being astronomically above even Super Saiyan 3, which is even 8 times that of the regular Super Saiyan as per the Super Exciting Guides. But Super Saiyan Blue is even more powerful than Super Saiyan God. After all, Super Saiyan Blue is essentially called Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. It is a Super Saiyan God turning Super Saiyan. It is exactly what it says on the tin. Basically, what it is a hybrid transformation, a Saiyan who has the ability to turn into a Super Saiyan God, stacking the Super Saiyan transformation on top, ultimately becoming Super Saiyan Blue. So given that Super Saiyan is a 50 times multiplier of base, and Super Saiyan God is essentially a God Ki base form, and don't get it twisted, that's not me saying Super Saiyan God isn't a transformation, I'm saying it serves the same purpose as Goku's base form, but with God Ki rather than regular Ki. And if you're following me on Twitter, you will have remembered me tweeting this out the other day. It's a diagram showing all Goku's transformations and how they work in correspondence to each other. Basically, Goku has different branches of transformations. He has the Uzaru branch, the Super Saiyan branch, the God Ki branch, and the Ultra Instinct branch. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, do go follow me on Twitter. You can find a link in the pinned comment of this video. But it puts into perspective how Goku's transformations work. Obviously, the Golden Uzaru and Super Saiyan 4 transformations are exclusive to Dragon Ball GT, and I will speak briefly about Saiyan Beyond God later in the video. Now the thing is, the original 50 times multiplier of power that came with the golden haired Super Saiyan transformation was quite a big difference in power between base form and Super Saiyan. For example, the Super Saiyan 2 multiplier over Super Saiyan 1 is a mere 2 times. The Super Saiyan 3 multiplier over Super Saiyan 2 is a bit bigger, but still pales in comparison to the difference between base and Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan 3 being 4 times more powerful than Super Saiyan 2 and 8 times more powerful than the regular Super Saiyan, as per the Super Exciting Guides. Of course, Super Saiyan 2 is 100 times base and Super Saiyan 3 is 400 times base, but the difference between one transformation and another is smaller than what it is between base and Super Saiyan, if you get my drift. So the difference between Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God, if it is to be 50 times, following the same footsteps as the original Super Saiyan, that difference would also be quite a big difference in power. Of course, we don't know what the multiplier of Super Saiyan God is over Super Saiyan 3. There has been no information whatsoever on what that multiplier could be. We just know that it is astronomically stronger than Super Saiyan 3. That could be anything. I always often lowball the transformation and say it's at least 2 times Super Saiyan 3. It's likely higher than that, but at this point in time we really don't know. And for the record, I'm talking about the stacked Super Saiyan God, not the ritual Super Saiyan God. The ritual Super Saiyan God from episode 9 of Dragon Ball Super seems to have a much bigger multiplier than the stacked Super Saiyan God over Super Saiyan 3 that we saw later in the series. The ritual Super Saiyan God boost that Goku got during the Battle of Gods was comparative to that of Fusion's boost. Possibly stronger, though it's hard to say, as Goku did state that Fusion wouldn't work against Beerus, and whilst he did well with Super Saiyan God, he ultimately failed against Beerus anyway. But you can then say, well, he still didn't use Fusion afterwards against Beerus in the Battle of God saga. Anyway, the point is, you have to distinguish the difference between ritual and stacked Super Saiyan God in the Dragon Ball Super anime. But is Super Saiyan Blue really a 50 times multiplier of an already extremely powerful transformation in Super Saiyan God? After all, Frieza did 4 months of training and not only bypassed all the improvements Goku made in Dragon Ball Z, caught up to a transformation that was 50 times more powerful than an already extremely powerful transformation. It seemed a little absurd. Of course, some would argue that Toriyama and Toei no longer deal with numbers when concerning transformations, and they are just plot-induced power-ups, and they may have a point. But ultimately, everything can be measured, and how do you measure things? Via numbers. So ultimately, everything can still be measured in Dragon Ball, and so can the transformations. So we can delve into exactly how strong the Super Saiyan Blue transformation is. And whilst it would seem logical that it would follow in the footpaths of the Golden Haired Super Saiyan and be a 50 times multiplier of Super Saiyan God, perceptively it certainly didn't seem like that strong of a transformation. Now, I did make a video recently about how Super Saiyan Blue was used at the wrong time in the series, and it didn't have the full impact it should have had concerning the narrative. But of course, our perceptions and senses can lie, and it may have been a 50 times multiplier after all, they just didn't tell the story particularly well. Unfortunately for us, the whole usage of Super Saiyan God was dropped right until the Tournament of Power. Now, of course, it still existed. Vegeta made this known in episode 46 of Dragon Ball Super when he told us that Super Saiyan Blue was Super Saiyan God turning Super Saiyan. But because we didn't get to see Super Saiyan God in action for such a long time after the Battle of God saga, right up until the Tournament of Power when Goku first used it against Dispo, it made it really hard to gauge, and there is only one battle where you see Goku turn from Super Saiyan God to Super Saiyan Blue against the same opponent, and that of course is against Kefla. I guess you could say Jiren, but ultimately Jiren in what was essentially his base form was too strong for both God and Blue, so it doesn't really help. We saw base Kefla absolutely smoking Super Saiyan God Goku. Of course, Goku turns Super Saiyan Blue, and in response, Kefla turns to Super Saiyan. Now, this may have been a Berserk strain Super Saiyan because it was a fusion between Kale, who had Super Saiyan Berserk, and Caulifla, who obviously could turn Super Saiyan. Whether it was or not remains to be seen because we've never had information on what exactly Kefla's Super Saiyan transformation was, but it did have the green tint in the air, but we'll leave that up in the air for now. It was at least a 50 times multiplier, and Kefla as a Super Saiyan was able to knock out Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Of course, Dragon Ball Super, not trying to make any power scaling easy for us, didn't mention what version of Kaioken Goku was using. However, I do protest that it would have been Kaioken times 20, given that Kefla was able to land a hit so strong that it forced him into Ultra Instinct, just as Jiren did in the battle only a few minutes earlier. And we know that each time Goku went into Ultra Instinct, he had to be hit with a hit harder than ever before. So basically, if Goku did use Super Saiyan Blue as a 50 times multiplier and then stacked Kaioken times 20 on top, Goku would have been 1,000 times stronger than he was as a Super Saiyan God, getting mopped up by base Kefla. So for Super Saiyan Kefla with a 50 times multiplier over her base, to be able to match Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku, she would have needed to have been 20 times stronger in base than Super Saiyan God Goku. Is that possible? Well, yes, she was absolutely rickrolling him. Goku could barely keep up with base Kefla's movement, and what this also should prove is that the stacked Super Saiyan God multiplier is not at the level of fusion like the ritual Super Saiyan God multiplier might have been in the Battle of God Saga. Now obviously 20 times that of Super Saiyan God Goku does seem like it could be quite a lot, but remember Vegeta's reaction whilst in Super Saiyan Blue upon feeling base Kefla's energy. In fact, that moment's on your screen right now. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta was rattled. At this time, he was fighting against Toppo, who was a Super Saiyan Blue level opponent, yet he seemed more concerned about base Kefla. The truth is, Super Saiyan Kefla was simply holding back against both Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. When she wanted to end it, she just ended it. So whilst I don't think this battle alone completely asserts that Super Saiyan Blue is a 50 times multiplier over Super Saiyan God, I do believe it supports it, as Kefla no longer fancied her chances in base. Come the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, of course, we see wrathful Broly overpower Super Saiyan God Goku, and ultimately Super Saiyan Blue Goku overpowered the yellow-eyed wrathful Broly. But in terms of gauging numbers, it's hard to gauge because as soon as Broly became Super Saiyan, he once again overtook that of Super Saiyan Blue. Add on top of that, that Broly was just growing in power throughout that fight, regardless of his transformations. It makes it extremely difficult to calculate. Of course, what does the manga of Dragon Ball Super have to say? The only information we got from the manga was in the Universe 6 vs Universe 7 tournament, where Super Saiyan God Goku was said to be as strong as a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, who was only at 10% of his power. This would sort of indicate that Super Saiyan Blue was a 10 times multiplier. However, the Dragon Ball Super manga did take a different direction with Super Saiyan Blue, as rather than use Kaioken stacked on top of Super Saiyan Blue, it did use perfected Super Saiyan Blue instead. So it may be that the Super Saiyan Blue transformation wasn't initially a 50 times multiplier, but as they learned to utilize that transformation properly and perfected that transformation in alignment with God Ki, it became the multiplier that it initially was with regular Ki via the golden-haired Super Saiyan transformation. Maybe once it became perfected, then it was a 50 times multiplier. It's just a theory, just a bit of food for thought, and of course the anime didn't use the perfected version of Super Saiyan Blue. However, against Merge Zamasu they do mention a full power Super Saiyan Blue. Whether this just means they're going at full power or they're using a full power Super Saiyan Blue, and whether that's supposed to be the equivalent to perfected Super Saiyan, I guess that's another topic up in the air for now. But I'm certainly leaning towards Super Saiyan Blue being a 50 times multiplier of Super Saiyan God. I don't see any reason for it not to be at this point in time. Of course, the anime in particular did indicate that Saiyan Beyond God was a thing, especially in the early parts of the Dragon Ball Super anime, and whilst I do advocate that Saiyan Beyond God is a thing, even I myself have doubts come later parts of the Dragon Ball Super anime, where it seems to completely disregard the concept and bring back Super Saiyan God later in the series. So it begs the question, did the Dragon Ball Super anime retcon the Saiyan Beyond God concept? That's a video for another day. If I had to use one word to describe Dragon Ball Super's storytelling, it would be vague, and unfortunately that makes any assertions on anything in Dragon Ball Super extremely difficult. It's not cut and dry. So guys, I want to know your thoughts on the Super Saiyan Blue multiplier, and if you want to look more into the Ultra Instinct multiplier, I have a video on that as well. But drop your thoughts down in the comments section. That video on the Ultra Instinct multiplier will be linked at the end of this video. Please do keep smashing that like button, keep lending me your energy. Nearly 2 years Dragon Ball Super has been off air, and we are still here till this day discussing Dragon Ball. So make sure you're subscribed, and until next time, Ad Astra.